Hey, Linda. Yeah, I was gonna try and do the stream a little later, but I have such a tight time frame. And Friday, I am going to Penhurst Asylum to go ghost hunting. So I'm gonna stream that, but since the weather is just like even remotely nice, my son is just hounding me to go fishing every day. So yesterday I was fishing till late. I put a picture of my kid. Well, his face is blacked out, but he caught a huge fish. Well, we caught like 11 fish. This kid was just like knocking them out, and I know he's gonna bug me to go. Well, we're definitely going Thursday. We told him we would, but I know he's gonna bug me to go tomorrow. And then Friday, I'll be doing the ghost hunting, which I will stream. But I really wanted to try and get in like a trial recap, and I have like an hour to do it. So I am gonna solely focus. I know he did so good, Jeanette. I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. He was just reeling them in. Like every time he cast it in like a second, he was just it was insane. Caught so many fish, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I know. I'm excited though. I bought a spirit box, like the spirit box, the SB7. So I have that, and I have like a little temp gun, and I think they let you use some ghost hunting equipment. So I have some stuff, and we're staying till it's from 6:45 to like 3:30 in the morning. So I'll definitely be live with it if you guys want to check it out. And yeah, this trial has been crazy. I'm just gonna focus on the kids today, and if I have extra time, I'll go over the other stuff, or I'll just give a quick rundown of what I can. But I just thought, hey Jen, you're not late. I just started. I was just talking about my kids' fish. Um, but I'm gonna start with Harley, and then I'm gonna talk about Colby because I feel like they were like huge witnesses, and yeah, it's huge. Their kids are on the stand, and I just feel so terrible for them because it has to be so weird to testify against your mom, you know, and to think about what they had done, and it was hard. I just felt so terrible. But let's start with Harley. Oh well, before Harley came in, someone needs to know where to find me. All right, good, just in case. So, well, they first started out yesterday before Harley's testimony. They reprimanded T a little bit because she was giving the middle finger during court. And he told her, if you don't stop, I will chain your hands under the table. Right, Jen? I know. The call between Colby and Lori is heartbreaking, which I'll read the words to the call, but I think Nate Eaton is sharing it somewhere. It says it in his tweets if you guys want to listen to it, but super emotional phone call with Colby. All right, so Harley comes in. They ask about their family relationship, how she was with Gannon and Lena. And she said it was different at first because they were like a blended family. They were getting used to more people in their lives. But they had an okay relationship, and there was problems here and there. They asked her about her dad, Chance Hunt. He died when she was 12. She said that her mom, Letecia, told her that someone came in, robbed him, and killed him, and that she had just found out this past week that he died from an overdose, which I would be furious if my mother lied to me. I don't really know what's worse, him getting murdered and robbed or ODing. I mean, I don't know why she told her that, but it is really strange. She acknowledged her mom's case getting a lot of attention on the internet and how difficult. Yeah, I don't know either, Sarah. It's so weird. and how difficult it would be to testify right now. She said she hasn't seen her mom in person since her mom was arrested on March 2nd, 2020. I don't know if they've talked on the phone. I don't think they asked her that. I don't know, but I wouldn't want to talk to her. So I don't know, like, where, she stands. But they did ask her if she still loves her mom, and she broke down crying. When asked about her and Gannon's relationship, she said they had a good relationship. Of course, they had an age difference, but, she would always try and be there for him. She testified about Al and Letecia's relationship, saying that they argued a lot and that she would bring the kids into her room. So, they didn't have to listen to them argue. On January 22nd or 27th, when Harley was at work, Letecia sent her a text at 9 p.m. saying, "Don't panic, but Gannon turned on a candle downstairs and set the downstairs on fire. I had to get the dogs and Lena out and run back downstairs and jump on him with a cover to put it out." She said, "I kept jumping on it. He is fine. He is scared and saying sorry and freaking out." Harley testified, saying the text messages weren't clear and they were confusing. She also said Gannon didn't usually sit by himself downstairs and light candles, so that was a little bit strange. They continued texting about the candle. Harley said, "How did he knock it over?" Letecia said he must have fallen asleep. And then she said, "So it wasn't knocked over?" And then, "Yes, oh my God, can you read? He must have knocked it over while asleep." She testified about Letecia telling her about the candle incident, said her mom told her that they were all on the street. Gannon was yelling, saying he hates his life. Harley said that was unusual of him to say also. She said on January 26th, the night of the candle incident, Letecia and her went downstairs to say goodnight to Gannon, which is not something she normally would do. Like, she actually made Harley come downstairs and stand in Gannon's doorway and say goodnight to him, which she never, asked her to do before, which she thought that was really strange, and it does seem kind of weird. Like, why have her come down and say goodnight to him? Unless, you're afraid maybe something might happen and you want to prove that he was alive at that point. I don't know, but I just thought that was strange. Harley said she had to be at work at 8:30 a.m. on January 27th, the day of Gannon's disappearance. She said when she woke up in her parents' bedroom, she didn't know where her mom was. So she slept in the room, I guess, after all the, in her mom's room. Letecia texted Harley saying, "Oh my God, something isn't right." Then Letecia shared screenshots of text messages between her and Al that were about Gannon asking about bath salts. Here we go again with the bath salts. They just keep popping up. I'm guessing maybe she tried to overdose Gannon. This is just my guess. And that maybe she was using the bath salts as like a cover, saying, maybe making it seem like he might have ingested the bath salts and that's why he got sick. I don't know why she keeps bringing it up, but that's the only thing I can think of. "I didn't even know we had bath salts, and I wouldn't even think he would know what those are," said Harley. And then when they asked Harley what if she knew about bath salts, she said, "Oh yeah, it's stuff you put in the bath." So I don't even think she realized that bath salts are considered like a drug as well. She testified about how she received text message on January 27th from Gannon's phone saying Letecia left her phone at home and if she needed anything to contact Gannon. Always brought her phone everywhere. It's just weird how this particular day she left her phone at home. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The bath salts come up so much. Letecia shared them in the Facebook group about the discussion group, and the only thing she ever shared in there was to cover her butt. They just come up so much, and it's like there has to be a reason about the bath salts, and I can't put my finger on what it is, but that's the only thing I can think of because they get brought up so much. She testified when she got home, Letecia asked her to go to the dollar store and buy items to clean the carpet burn and what's left over from the fire. She said her mom told Harley to take Lena with her. She was the only one at home for a brief amount of time and didn't go downstairs and didn't see Gannon. This was from 4:30 to 4:50 on January 27th. She said she asked where Gannon was at, and Letecia told her he was with one of his friends. A photo of the receipt from the dollar store was shown to the jurors. Hart testified, saying her mom asked her to buy cleaning supplies that included elastics, extra strength deodorizer, baking soda, baby oil, trash bags, and cotton rounds. She said when Gannon didn't come home, they began searching. When asked about her mom's behavior, she said she was worried. I remember we got in the car and we drove to a friend's house. Lena walked up to the door and knocked to see if he was there, and they said no. Harley said while she was driving around searching for Gannon, Letecia stayed home to wait for Gannon to come back in case, he decided to come home, she said. I mean, I didn't think of that, Linda, but maybe she was on bath salts. I never even thought of that, but it could explain, you're right, it could explain why she's so damn crazy. When asked about Gannon's disappearance, she said, I had heard at first that he was at a friend's house, then he was missing, and that he must have been with his friend's older brother. And then that's what she kept saying to me, they're trying to frame me, and people are thinking it's me. Harley said, referring to what Letecia told her. Letecia had called me and told me to leave the house. She tried to get me to leave Lena there, and I told her I didn't want to. I didn't feel comfortable doing that. I think that was on the 28th. Harley said she opened the garage door and she was about to leave with Lena. She said detectives stopped her outside of their home. They asked me questions and I answered. I didn't want to talk. At this point, I don't know what's going on. I'm just so confused. Some of the text message from Letecia to Harley say, has any of the family asked where I was? Like our family, I have to get an attorney fast. What's the guy saying? Who is there? I've been set up. These messages around from 10 p.m. on January 28th. Harley said that she had been advised multiple times by Tisha not to answer the door for detectives and not to answer any questions. She just kept saying, you're a minor, you shouldn't be answering questions. She told her to come to a hotel she told Harley to come to a hotel on January 28th. She said she didn't want to be in the house with Al and Landon and his family. She didn't want me there with him. Harley said eventually Letecia showed up at the hotel, and Letecia said they need to go home. The two of them go back to the Stauch home in Harley's car. She kept being paranoid, I guess you could say. So she made her go all the way to this hotel, freaking her out, then decides, no, never mind, we need to go home. Because I guess maybe she realized it would have looked super shady for her to be at a hotel. I don't know. She said the next morning on January 29th that Harley drove Letecia to the airport to drop the keys to the rental car. I remember we were driving there and she told me, don't speed. I think someone is following us. So obviously she was super paranoid. She testified about picking Letecia up from the hospital later in the day. Remember when they were with her friend? She was told to go to a nearby Taco Bell instead. I guess Letecia met them at a Taco Bell. When she got in the car, she was just rambling a bunch of different things. She's now testifying about the interaction between Letecia, Harley, and law enforcement outside of Marshall's on January 30th. They took my phone, and as we were walking out, they put me in handcuffs, said Harley, who she said it made her feel bad. So they put Harley in handcuffs, and I remember them saying that Harley was a whole ass mess. And they had to calm her down and tell her that they were just retrieving the phone and the car. Harley said the next day their family rented a van and went to the Stauch home to gather their belongings. She said, police looked through everything. Police were checking anything we took out. If it were books, they had to go through the pages. We couldn't take any technology. Hey, Ellie. So I'm assuming that Gannon was never at that house. They went back to the hotel after that, and then she left to go pick up dog food, I believe, and I think that's when she went and retrieved Gannon's body from wherever she hid it and put it in the car. The next day, Harley said Letecia told her that they are leaving, but she didn't know where they were going. She just kept saying, where do you want to live? I was just so confused, said Harley. When she was asking me, where do you want to live, the destination kept changing. She was just talking about starting a new life. She just kept saying that Albert went against her, doesn't believe her, and that's why she wanted to leave. She said she didn't notice anything usual in the back of the van and didn't notice an unusual smell. Now, I don't know if the van, if the cargo van and the front seats were separated, or if you could look back and, in there, sometimes they're separated, the vans. Harley said she didn't question her mom during the drive. I didn't really question her a whole lot. I would be told that I'm being disrespectful or talking back, and sometimes she would backhand me to my face, which makes me think she was probably abusing Gannon as well if she was backhanding her own daughter in the face, which is sickening to me. When asked about Letecia's demeanor when they arrived to a hotel in Pensacola, Florida, Harley said she was acting normal. She never went to the back of the van to get clothes and never smelled anything unusual. Okay, she did say that she could look back. All right. I missed some parts because I was babysitting, so I don't like I got through most of the beginning, but I missed a lot of like cross and the end of but if yeah, that's surprising to me that if she could look back and see the stuff, how I didn't she say that the AC was on too? Maybe, I don't know, maybe it kind of like kept it, and maybe because the what's it called? The suitcase was closed and there was like blankets in it. I don't know. But it's really hard to not notice that smell. I mean, the smell is like putrid. They asked Harley. Okay, so they asked her a direct question. All right, so when the prosecution asked Harley if she knew why they were asking these questions, because Gannon was back there, because you guys told me there was evidence that he was back there. Prosecution, I'm going to ask you a direct question. Did you help your mother throw that suitcase over a bridge in Pensacola, Florida? And Harley said, no, I did not. Yeah, she had the AC on in January. Ridiculous. I mean, it was also cold too, so maybe that's why. That's another reason why. Maybe like from being out in the cold, he didn't start, decomposing, I suppose. Harley testified saying that when she learned Gannon's body was found, it was weird because we were in Florida, Harley said. She wanted to think it was a coincidence or that somebody did follow them. I started having questions. I believed her for a while. It wasn't until this past November. It was recently, said Harley, when asked about Letecia pleading not guilty by reason of insanity. I didn't know what it meant at first. She testified that she was concerned she may be charged with a crime, that I would be accessory in a first-degree murder. Harley then acknowledged flying to Colorado to give local law enforcement a statement. Prosecution, why did you do that? And she said, because it's the right thing to do. Hey, Lex. So, the only thing I did find that kind of annoyed me about her testimony was like, she answered, I don't know, a lot. And it seemed like she answered, I don't know, to every difficult question. I mean, not every difficult question, but a lot of difficult questions. She would say, I don't know. Like, and it made me wonder, is like she's saying, I don't know, because maybe she's afraid that she could be charged as an accessory or like could incriminate herself, or if she's afraid to, upset her mom still, or if she's scared of her mom. But she did say, I don't know, a lot. And I was like, the whole time, I'm like, man, how do you not remember all this stuff? It was frustrating me, but, I guess it's possible. It was a while ago, so. And it was a traumatic time in her life, so I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. But she did say, I don't know, a lot. She testified that her mom never changed personalities and knew right from wrong during and after Gannon's disappearance. During Cross, she said she didn't believe her mom would do anything to hurt Gannon. I woke up one day and I lost everybody. And they said, would have never dreamed that your mom would have done something to Gannon. She said, I'm still in shock. I just feel manipulated and lied to. She said, the thought never came across my mind. I just never thought my mom would do that. I didn't see her as the type of person to do that. I never questioned it. It never came up, said Harley. They asked Harley if her mother is capable of picking up Gannon's body up and putting it in a suitcase and throwing it over a bridge, and Harley said yes. And prosecution asked her, do you still love your mother? And she didn't answer and put down her head and started to cry. I would imagine, Lex. I'm not 100% sure, but I would imagine. So. Maybe they just told her, whatever you don't feel comfortable asking, say, I don't know. But, But she did say, I don't know, a lot. Like, that's one of the things I noticed. Oh, she also said they also asked her about her mom's like mental health, and she said that her mom would like hide in the closet all the time. They're like, would your mom like hide in a ball in the closet and cry? And she was like, no. And they're like, well, you met up with us and you spoke with us and you told us that. And she was like, well, you said that you, ball up in a ball. She didn't ball up in a ball, but, she would hide in the closet. Sometimes she would cry. Sometimes she would just be on her phone. And I just thought that was so weird. Unless this closet was like a room, like a walk-in closet. But she basically said that like her mom would just hide in the closet all the time, I guess, to like get away. She said that her and her mom went on a lot of trips, so much that she felt like she was constantly living out of a suitcase. She said that her mom, okay, I could be getting this wrong because I was like on and off listening, but like they said something about she wanted to be called Taylor, which Harley said she believed that was like her middle name, and she didn't like her name, so she wanted to be called Taylor. She said her mom was in the hospital for treatment, but they made it seem like she was in like the defense when they were questioning her, they made it seem like the mom was away in a mental hospital, but she was told that her mom told her that she was there for like cancer treatment or something like that. So her mom just lied to her like all the time. I mean, she even lied to her about how her own father died, which was just insane to me. But yeah, just they asked a lot of questions. Yeah, that she wanted to be called Taylor. So I guess they're trying to like imply, what was the maybe Nicole and T's? Maybe Nicole? I don't know. Like it was saved as maybe Nicole? I'm not sure. Like I didn't get to see the whole defense like cross exam, but I heard some of it, and it was just so like they were trying really hard to make her out to be kooky. You know what I mean? Oh, you listened to the recording? I haven't listened to it yet. I was thinking about playing it, but I'll probably get struck if I play it. But I was reading Nate Eaton's tweets. Like he wrote them all out, and it was super sad about Cole. But yeah, they just kept asking her questions about like changing her name and if she went away for mental health stuff. iPhones, if not set up, come up with maybe then the name. Oh, like maybe that could be her. Like they thought that was her name. That could be it. All right, I'm gonna switch to. It sounded sad from the tweets that I was reading, and I'm gonna switch. Oh well, let me just go over some other things that basically today they did a lot. They talked to investigators. They talked about basically the first witness. I think they discussed the search for Gannon, and then they talked about blood spatter. There was like 54 different stains in his room, things like that. A lot of evidence stuff today. And they also played a call between like Letecia and Al. Letecia wanted Al to get a lie detector test, and then he wanted her to get one as well. Oh, the phone recordings on East Idaho News? Okay, I might be able to play it then. And trying to think if there was anything that was pretty notable. I mean, that's been probably Harley's testimony's been the most notable so far. in the past like 2 days. There was just a lot of evidence stuff. And then switching to the Vallow trial now, I believe Zulema was back on the stand in the morning. Basically, for Cross, they asked her a lot of. They were trying to show that Alex did things on his own and not for Lori, and Zulema was basically fighting back and saying, no, that's not true. That Alex really did everything for Lori and whatever she wanted him to do, and that he even had to ask them permission to do just about everything. And that he literally just did everything for them. Like he was supposed to be Lori's protector. I guess after he got that weird blessing that, Chad told him he was this warrior, that he needed to protect his goddess sister. He really took that serious, and he did everything they asked him to do. Zulema says Chad and Lori made others feel special and powerful, including Alex. They told Alex he was like an angel who had come to Saul before he became Paul, and he was the one who spoke to him and made him blind, so he would mend his ways and become a follower of Jesus Christ. He also told him he had been an angel before, and he was an angel that had appeared to Joseph Smith. They told him he had been exalted in other creations with his wife Holly, and he had been a powerful warrior. That he unmasked Satan in another creation, and that is the reason why Satan had so much animosity toward him. Said Alex quit his job and moved to Rexburg after Chad and Lori told him to do so. He left behind his belongings in Arizona. Chad and Lori told him the only reason he came to this earth at the time, his sole purpose was to protect Lori. She repeatedly said that Alex believed everything Chad and Lori told him. Smith has no further questions for Zulema, and she steps down. So then Colby Ryan comes up, which, how crazy is this? Is that these two trials are running parallel with each other, and in a day's difference, both have the defendant's children on the stand. So, yeah, it's unbelievable, Emily, how gullible, like how they just believe this stuff, and it blows my mind. Because if somebody told me this stuff, I would be like, what in the heck? Like, what are you smoking? You know what I mean? Okay, so Colby gets on the stand. They said, how do you know the defendant, Lori? And he says, she's my mom. And he shows Colby a picture of Tylee, and they ask Colby who that is, and he says, that's my sister. And then they show a picture of JJ, and he says, that's my brother. And he starts to choke up and sniffle a little bit and briefly glances at his mom. They ask Colby about the day that Charles Vallow died. He says Lori called him at work and said Charles died of a heart attack, which I thought was really strange because he was shot by Alex. Why would you tell Colby that he died of a heart attack if there wasn't some weird stuff going on about that? You know what I mean? Like, they had not pre-planned killing him. Why would she lie about how Charles died? I thought that was strange. The day Charles died, Colby went home and Tylee greeted him. Alex was sitting on the couch watching TV and had a bandage on his hand. Colby asked Alex what happened. Alex said he'd been hit with a bat and then he shot Charles. That night, he said Lori's demeanor was calm. A few weeks after Charles died, Colby said his mom told him she wasn't receiving any life insurance money. Colby says he spoke with his mom monthly or every other month about their finances. Lori often told him they were out of money. I'm guessing that Colby somewhat relied on his mother for money. That's just like kind of what I get out of it. You know what I mean? That maybe it has to do, like, it sounds like she would send him money or he relied on her for money. They asked Colby if he ever received money from Tylee. Colby says he did, randomly through Venmo. Colby says Lori would often send money to Tylee, who would then send it to Colby. Would ask Colby about the night of September 8th, 2019. Colby asked Tylee for money, and Tylee responded that she was no longer in control of her money, but her mom was handling it. Colby says he spoke with Lori that day. He heard Tylee over the phone, and Lori said they were at Yellowstone National Park gift store. Colby says he was contacted by Gilbert Police on November 27th, 2019. So this is like roughly 2 months later. They asked where JJ and Tylee were. Colby said they were not with him, and Colby had been concerned about his sister. His text messages with Tylee were in a different language than how Tylee would talk and type. So basically, he was getting these texts from his sister, but they didn't sound like his sister, which was making him worry because he could just tell that it wasn't her by the way of the typing style. He said it was just different. He felt like it wasn't Tylee he was speaking with. Colby says after September 2019, he continued to receive money from 2 different accounts registered to his mom. Colby says after Charles died, his mom said she was going to get married again. After Gilbert Police visited in November, he called his mom and asked what's going on. Why were the police looking for the kids? Colby said he didn't know where his mom was, but he knew she had moved. She never told him where she moved, and Lori would not tell Colby. She just told me she was moving somewhere cold, and it was dangerous for her to tell anybody where she had gone. Colby tried to contact his mom on Thanksgiving, but her phone was disconnected. He was not able to reach her. And then Cross starts. As the jury was leaving, they took a break, and as the jury was leaving the courtroom, Colby glanced over at his mom, and then he shook his head and turned away. So, he is disgusted with her, and I think that's an understatement. When he's back on the stand, Lori keeps looking at him, but he won't make eye contact with her. He'll keep looking like straight ahead or down, like he refuses to make eye contact with his mom. And I don't blame him because it would probably be super uncomfortable. Attorney said, hold on, let me see. Lori is staring at Colby on the stand, and he refuses to make eye contact. She pulled several tissues from a Kleenex box and is wiping her eyes. But he can't tell. They couldn't tell if she was like crying or not. But I think they say later that there was another view of her and that she didn't look like there was any tears. All right, so they ask on cross Archibald, Lori's lawyer. Archibald asks Colby who his dad is. He says William Lagoa, or Lagoa, is that how you say it? Lagoa? But explains his stepdads were Joseph Ryan and Charles Vallow. Archibald asks if Lori Daybell has ever met Colby's 2 kids. Colby says she has met his oldest child, but not the youngest. Well, the channel's about true crime, Randy Man, so you're going to hear stuff that's violent. I mean, that's what we talk about. I used to sub to Colby too. I used to actually like listening to him. And I don't know what else you mean, Randy Man, about the other stuff you're saying. Archibald asks if Colby's childhood with Joe Ryan and Lori was good or bad. He responds bad. Archibald asks if his stepfather abused him, and there's an objection. And he basically says, yes, he did. And they tell the jury to ignore the question about abuse. And he asks Colby if his mother protected him from Joe Ryan, and he says yes. And he asks if she protected Colby by moving away and divorcing Joe, and Colby says yes. Colby says Charles Vallow had a good relationship with him. Colby says he had a good relationship with JJ and Tylee. Archibald asks if Tylee had health issues. Colby says she had pancreatitis and often had to go to the hospital. Archibald also asked about JJ's special needs and asked if Lori cared for the needs of Colby, Tylee, and JJ, and Colby said yes. So I guess they're trying to show that Lori was a good mother up until she met Chad. And that's when things changed, with which it seems as though Colby implies that. Archibald asks if Colby had depression as a teenager and if he was suicidal. Oh, I should have said if he wanted to unalive himself, but oh well, too late. Archibald asks if Lori helped him and he had thoughts of self-worth, and Colby says yes. He said, "Did your mother encourage Tylee to do good things with her life?" And Colby responds, "I don't know." Archibald questions Colby about his education and mission to Nampa, Idaho. Colby says his mission lasted 6 weeks at the most. He asks if Colby actually made it to Nampa or if it was just training. There's an objection. He asks Colby if his mother taught him about Jesus. He says yes. He asks if they sang songs about Jesus. He says yes, at church. He asks if his mom taught about multiple lives or probations or if he was someone else in the other life. And Colby says no. Yeah, that's what a lot of people say, Emily. Like Kay even said she was, good. And I will say, the more that I'm hearing, the more I am seeing that Chad was definitely more of a manipulator than I thought he was. Like I thought Lori was like hella manipulative and she was kind of like running the show. But to hear that Chad called the mortuary and that he did this blessing on Alex, making him believe that he was a warrior that needed to protect Lori, like he was very like Chad is super manipulative as well. Like more than I thought Lori was the ringleader, but now I'm kind of like in the middle with them. Like I think they're both equally manipulative, I guess, or like equally manipulative of the whole situation and what they were doing. Colby says his mom never taught him about zombies, casting out evil spirits, or dark or light scales. When asked about vibrations, Colby says his mom said they were the same vibration. Archibald asks if his mom ever taught Colby that she was a goddess. He says no. He says his mom never taught that. He should join a new church called the Church of the Firstborn. Colby was not at home when Charles filed for divorce from Lori or when they reconciled. Colby says his relationship with Alex Cox was minimal and describes his uncle as odd. Totally odd. He's super odd. He was crude and kind of funny and odd. I think she might be too Ellie, and if she is, I don't feel like Chad is. I just feel like Chad's normal and manipulative. Colby says he didn't see Alex a lot until he got married in 2019. Colby moved out of his mom's house when he got married. He asks about the book Colby wrote since this case started. He says the book is about how God has helped him through his life. Archibald asks about media appearances Colby has made and asks if he was paid for the Netflix documentary, and Colby says he was not. In the docuseries, Colby says his mom changed when she met Chad Daybell. Archibald asks about this line, and Colby says he doesn't remember saying it, but he could have. He asks Colby if he loved his mom, and he says yes. He asks if his mom loved him, and Colby responds, I think so. He asks, who taught you God was good? Colby said, the church and my mom. Lori is wiping her eyes with a tissue during this part of Colby's testimony. Yeah, Emily, like he's definitely way more manipulative than I thought he was. Like I thought Lori was like kind of like making him do what she wanted and using her sex to do it, but like it seems like he was more making her do what he wanted for, to keep her, I guess. I don't know, but he just like everything he did, like the rating of the light and dark and making her think like every family member you didn't like is dark. You know what I mean? Adam was dark because he was against them. JJ and Tylee, Charles, like every person that needed to be out of their lives or just happened to be dark, he was right up in there. And I'm starting to think he's a little more sus than I thought before. He they're reading parts of Colby's book where he wrote about God helping him through obstacles and hardship. Colby says those statements are accurate. Archibald has no further questions. So they take a 5-minute recess. They ask Colby if his mom has ever asked him for anything since he moved out of her house. He said the only thing she asked for is to help them move. He asked if Lori controls Colby's bank account. He says no. He says at one point Lori gave him Tylee's debit card so he could buy himself a birthday present. He says his mom never asked him to come to a special church meeting or participate in castings. Colby says he learned from the news that his mom had moved in December of 2019. Yeah, right, Emily? I hope so either. I hope, like, can you imagine that they think probably a bunch of people in there are dark and they need to eliminate their bodies? That'd be super scary. Colby says when he was a teenager, he had a conversation with his mom about her life insurance. Colby says Tylee and JJ were alive, but Colby was the only person listed as the beneficiary. I wonder if they're trying to make it look like Colby is different to her, or like she looks at Colby different. I don't know. Or maybe because Chad didn't say anything about Colby, that's why Colby's still like maybe they're trying to prove that it's only the people he said were dark. And Lori watches him leave the courtroom, and then now they ask to admit and play the jail phone call Colby and Lori had with each other. Colby is out of the room but remains under subpoena. They do call him back onto the stand so that they can ask him questions. But it starts out with Lori saying, "Hi, Colby. Can you hear me? Do you want to talk to me?" And Colby responds, "Do you think you can hide from me?" And Lori says she isn't hiding, but she knows he didn't want to talk to her. And then Colby responds, "Probably because you murdered my siblings." Colby says to Lori, "I have prayed for you in my worst moments. I have prayed for my siblings who you swore to me were okay. I thought I could trust you. I thought that you were a completely different person." She responds, "You've known me your whole life. He said, I don't know a murderous mother." And then he says to Lori, "It kills me to watch you take the victim's route and say this shouldn't have happened to you when you were telling me that Chad Daybell came into your life and all of a sudden everything changes. And I'm talking about my spirit feels this. I prayed, I trusted you, I gave you every chance I could, past my own limitations of a human being. I pushed back all of everything to try and get you to help my own mother. You lied to me, specifically to me, more times than I can count about this. To know that they are gone and you knew, and my phone's being texted by my little sister who is not even alive. My little brother, who is the sweetest little kid ever. You tell me this is God's will for my family, including my stepfather, to be dead. After everything that you tried to tell me, you can tell me right now that Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world, is on your side. You tell me that with all the conviction in your heart, that Jesus Christ is on your side right now. Please." Lori responds, "I can tell you that." Hey, Mel. Colby is telling his mother that Jesus will judge his mom, and she begins to laugh. He calls her out for laughing, and Lori says nobody was there. She says nobody understands, and Tylee and JJ know exactly what happened. They love me, and they are fine, and they know the truth, and that we are the only people that do. Lori says Colby can judge her, and the whole world can judge her. Colby yelling at his mother to tell him that Jesus Christ told her to do these things. He said, "The kids are found buried in your new husband's backyard." This is a very emotional call. Colby's yelling at his mom, and she's pushing back that nobody understands. Colby tells his mother to explain what is happening. She says she would love to tell him, and one day the truth will come out. "My own mom, my own siblings, my whole family, my dad, everyone is gone except my mom, and you're in jail because of it. I have prayed to Heavenly Father myself and asked him to help me survive this. Why are you following Chad down the rabbit hole? Why would you follow anyone who is not good? How can you follow someone who cannot lead you to salvation in Jesus? You can't lie anymore. You can't hide anymore." Colby tells his mom that he prays she will see Jesus Christ and fall into his grace. "I pray every day, no matter how mad I am at you, no matter how bad I want to hit your husband in the face with a shovel. I pray for you. I pray for him. You ripped my heart out. You ripped everyone's heart out. I want to be in Idaho this week. You need to look me in the eye, Mom. Look me in the eye." Colby noted earlier that Lori's camera is turned off and the call ends. Oh, that's horrible. Hold on, I'm trying to see who's the next. Alright, so the next witness was Police Detective Chuck Kunzitis, I think. Before he's brought in, prosecutors asked for a sidebar. I'm pretty sure they go through Alex's bank accounts. And they show that they had money, like a lot of money. Alright, so they looked through the home where Lori was living. They found a printer upstairs, an invoice for a self-storage plus sitting on it. A search warrant was then issued for the storage unit. They issued a warrant for the P.O. box Lori had in Sugar City, Idaho. There was around 100 pieces of mail in the box for Lori, Charles, Alex, and her children. There were bills and letters from the Social Security Administration and the IRS. I know, right, Glenjamin? The manager of the apartment complex where Lori was living told detectives he also had mail for Lori and Alex. Police obtained a warrant for the mail and says there were bills and other financial letters. All right, so they list a bunch of accounts on the screen for the jury. They include JP Morgan Chase account with Charles Vallow, a JP Morgan Chase account shared with Tylee, a JP Morgan Chase account shared with Charles, a BBVA personal account for Lori, a BBVA shared account for Lori and Tylee, a Barclays Hawaiian account shared with Charles, a Barclays account shared with Alex, a First Hawaiian Bank account for Lori, a Chase Southwest joint account, a National Life Insurance account for Lori. My goodness, she got a lot of bank accounts. I have like 2. They're showing sample portions of account activity on some of the accounts. The last deposit in the shared account with Charles and Lori was in July, shortly after Charles died. Money from the account was withdrawn until it went into overdraft status in November of 2019. They show a year's worth of banking statements from Tylee from January 2019 to October 2019. There's a lot of activity on that account. Tylee is making monthly car payments for a Jeep from the account. Tylee made a lot of brick and mortar type purchases, fast food restaurants, convenience stores, etc. They're describing the final bank statement from Tylee's account. There are multiple transactions on multiple dates. It shows their travels as they moved from Arizona to Idaho. There was a purchase on September 1st at McDonald's in St. George, Utah. The last payment for Tylee's Social Security in this account was previous July, so deposits had stopped into this account. The final transaction on Tylee's account was on September 20th. The balance on the account was $10.04, and an online transfer was made on September 20th to Lori's JP Morgan Chase account. Nothing else was done on this account. They determined that the last proof of life for Tylee was on September 8th or 9th. Next exhibit shows Tylee Ryan's JP Morgan Chase account. Tylee and Lori both had profiles on the account. They show a digital footprint of who was using the account when Lori transferred that $10. The next document shows Tylee Ryan's bank account had zero balance in October. The next exhibit shows the banking account application Lori Vallow made at BBVA Bank. It was open October 20th, 2018. This account ended up receiving all the Social Security deposits. Right, Benjamin? I need a side hustle too. You just make everyone listen. Y'all are part of my cult, and you just need to give me all your money, and we'll buy a bunker and stock up. I'm kidding, but next exhibit shows a sample of activity on Lori's BBVA account. From August to January, a deposit for almost $1,900 from Social Security was made on August 28th on behalf of Tylee. Tylee had been receiving her Social Security money in her account, but this deposit in Lori's account was new. So obviously, Lori contacted the Social Security Administration around August 20th and requested to have the money changed to her account. Now discussing the Social Security deposit made for JJ on September 18. Based on our investigation, JJ was killed 5 days later. Hold on, let me see. Where do they talk about Alex's? I know they talk about 3 purchases were made on September 1st. Oh, that's from Arizona to Utah. You can see the move. I'm just going to jump over until I find one that's meaningful, I guess. Next exhibit is a monthly statement from Barclays credit card account. A transaction was recorded on July 12th, the day after Charles was killed. A payment for around $3,000 was made to the Valley of the Sun mortuary, which was them cremating Charles. If y'all remember, Chad, Frog Potato, called the mortuary pretending that his uncle or something died in the hospital and was asking for praise. Yeah, for sure. And it's sad because there's 3 trials going on right now. And 6 kids, right? 6 kids in total, or 5 kids. Let's see. Tylee, JJ, Orrin and Orson. Again, 5 kids in total were listening to trials about, all children. Like, how terrible is that? And 2 of them, the evilest women ever. And you know what? I know that they haven't been charged yet, but I mean, it's pretty obvious that Letecia's pretty much owned up to it. And it's obvious to me that Lori knew about it. So I feel comfortable saying that. The next document shows the statement for a credit card Lori shared with Alex. Lori made purchases for Tylee and a friend to go to Hawaii. Another round-trip flight is purchased for Chad from Idaho Falls to Mesa. Oh, I guess Chad was taking a flight. She bought him a flight. Chad was married to Tammy, and Lori was married to Charles at the time. There's some confusion over the numbers on documents. I'm trying to find the stuff about Alex, because this dude bought some crazy stuff. Okay, here we go. Alex Cox bank accounts. He had a Desert Financial Credit Union account, a Barclays joint account with Lori, a Lending Club loan, Mercury MasterCard, Wells Fargo personal account, 2 Capital One credit cards, a Mountain American credit card account, He was receiving 3 paychecks a month from his job in Arizona. The payments stopped in August 2019 when Alex quit his job and moved to Idaho with Lori, JJ, and Tylee. He received a $21,000 deposit into his account from Lending Club in early August. His bank account shows he began purchasing a lot of ammunition and guns around the same time. Alex wrote that the loan was for medical expenses. Police say they never found any indication of financial issues of that time and when Alex died. They show credit card applications associated with Alex. It shows between February and August, it shows a steady income, and Alex is very active with the account. On September 1st, he quit his job and moved to Idaho. He had no regular income after that. The $21,000 loan hit the account in September. From August 10th to October 24th, the account shows Alex purchased 46 guns. He then opened a Mountain American Credit Union account and deposited $4,000 in it. 46 guns. What in the hell does he need 46 guns for? Not only that, he had silencers, a ghillie suit. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Then they show Chad Daybell's finances. He had a Mountain American Credit Union joint account with Tammy, an account for Spring Creek Book Company, an account with First Hawaiian Bank, Citibank credit card, Wells Fargo Visa, and a joint Capital One account for Chad and Tammy. Lots of documents being discussed. They end it there, I guess. So they're closing it for the day. So I guess tomorrow we will hear about Chad's finances. But let me play this call. I don't know if I'll be struck for it, but I'm thinking I'm gonna try and just let me see. I'm just going to try and play the audio. Hey, Butterfly Kisses. Sorry you're having a rough night, girl. Alright, ready? Oh, here.
Hello? Hello? Yeah. You think you can hide from me? Probably because you murdered my siblings.
It's so hard to hear. I can't hear it hardly at all.
Saying that. I did it. That's right. How you know that me? You didn't do anything, right? I've prayed for you in my worst moments. I prayed for my siblings who swore to me.
Can you guys hear that? It's so hard to hear.
I thought I could trust you. I thought that you were a completely different person. I don't know a murderous mother. What happened? They're not making their own judgments. Mom, you've been shoving BS on my throat for a very long time. I'm gonna talk to you. You can be mad. Hey, listen to me. I'm not mad. Listen to me. Fine, listen to me. I sat there and prayed. I can't tell you the amount of pain that I have felt from your decisions in Jesus Christ's name. It kills me to watch you sit here and tell me this is a trial. It kills me to watch you take the victims out and say this shouldn't have happened to you. When you tell me
So low.
Chad Dave came into your life, and all of a sudden, everything changes. I'm talking about my spirit.
You can hear the emotion in his voice, though.
I trusted you. I gave you every chance. I could have passed my own limitations as a human being. I pushed past all of everything to try to get to you, help my own mother. You lied to me, specifically to me, more times than I can count. To know that they're gone and you knew, and my phone's being texted by my little sister, who's not even alive, my little brother, who's the sweetest little kid ever. For what purpose? Can you tell me this is God's will for my whole family, including my stepfather, to be dead? After everything you tried to tell me, you can tell me right now that Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world, is on your side. You tell me that with all conviction in your heart that Jesus Christ is on your side. Please.
I can't tell you that.
Say it. Say his name. Say that he told you. And you followed him like exactness.
It must be so difficult to be like trying to like talk to your mom and she's just like playing dumb and like saying like God knows it, it's fine that I killed them. Like, no, it's not, lady. I wouldn't even be able to stay on the phone. I would just have to hang up. Like the way that she's like gaslighting him and acting like this is normal and okay is just, I mean, there's got to be something like she's got to be like something there, like a schizophrenia or something. Like I mean, I guess you could be totally, convinced and believe things that are crazy, but I don't know. It's just so strange to me that she was a good mom up until, she got involved with Chad, and then it just like strangely goes really left.
I have prayed for you. I sat there and tried to do my best to forgive you and Chad, Alex, and I was deceived and I was broken by my own mother. What are you doing? What are you doing? I prayed to heaven God, and I said, you tell me, Father.
I have all the instructions. They think they know what happened. They think
I don't care
they
about
know
the people.
what happened. They think they know what's wrong.
Do you know what you told me? Do you know what you told me?
You weren't there. So
You're right. I wasn't there. I was kept.
Oh yeah, that's a crazy story. I was thinking about covering that, but there's like so many trials on right now, but I should try and cram that in. There's this Thank you for reminding me. There's this local woman here in Horsham. And let me tell you, this family looked like very upscale, like perfect family. And this woman killed her child and ran off to Cape May, New Jersey, and drove her car in the water. And I guess she was trying to unalive herself and then chickened out. And then they found her, and she said that her son was crying, that he was so upset over their financial status that she didn't want him to have to deal with that anymore and killed him. But what I found so strange is she's claiming they had financial struggles, but they had their own beach house. They lived in like a fancy home. He went to a private school. So I find that hard to believe, but I'll definitely have to show that story. That was so shocking to me when I read about that. I was like, man, you wouldn't like from like the outside looking in, they seemed, I mean, picture wise and everything, like this perfect family, and clearly they weren't. And it almost felt like to me though that she was trying, like the woman Ruth, that she was trying to like get back at her husband. But I'll definitely share that story sometime, maybe on the weekend when there's no trial going on.
that's right. And one day you will know.
Murder.
One day
Murder.
you will know what actually happened.
You're right. You know what?
And we all will stand there with
Everything
we
into alliance. You're absolutely right. He will convict the people who act in his name with pure blasphemy. This funny? This is funny. This is funny. You're laughing. Like this is funny. How come your camera's on? You don't want to look at me in the eye? Why can't you look at me? It's
like
just
you
me.
talk to your goals. I love you. I always will. One day you will see it. One day you will understand.
Go ahead and hang up. See how that works for you. You
No,
hang up?
I don't have anything else to say. You obviously don't know. You weren't there. You weren't there. Summer wasn't there. My mom wasn't there. The police weren't there. The FBI weren't there.
Your
Nobody was there.
I and Gigi mom.
Yeah, and guess what? They know. They know exactly what happened. And they love me. And
Ooh, she's
they're
getting a little
still together
feisty
forever.
now.
They love me, and they are fine, and they do know the truth, and I know the truth. We're the only people that do. So you can judge me for me.
There's no way JJ and Tylee were fine with being dismembered and wrapped in bags and duct tape. I'm sorry, but get out of here, lady. And I think they even suggested that JJ could have still been alive. Ugh, that's so sickening to me. Like, how can she sit there and act like, oh yeah, they know, they knew, they still love me, and they're okay with this? Like, get out of here, lady.
Yes, the whole world has judged me. They don't know, and you don't know. You know what I've been through, and you didn't give a crap what they've been through. Nobody has, except for me. I am the one that knows. I am the one that was in the hospital with Tylee for hundreds of days watching her suffer. I am the one that was there doing everything with JJ every day. I was the one who did it all these years.
You did it all to throw it in the garbage. They're not.
You don't know what happened.
She said she was the one there watching Tylee suffer. Suffer from what? So what is she trying? Oh, I guess from being suffer from being a zombie. Like, what is she talking about? You don't know. You weren't there watching her suffer. Yeah, she was giggling.
You don't know what happened.
It doesn't matter what happened if they're buried in your new husband's backyard. Tell me that matters what happened. You tell me that you did this in Jesus' name, Mom. I have to hear that. You believe it and you are not afraid. Every witness of Christ will scream his name when he comes back. So you are that person.
I am that person. I am that person. And he will come back. Oh, yeah, because that's what it is. You don't even know. You weren't even there. You don't even know.
When I see about fighting October, what did you tell me? What did you tell me? What lies did you feed me? Why would you lie to me if you were so, if you're with the Lord and you see me, and I'm just talking purely to you?
Oh, with her pancreatitis or whatever. Yeah, that might be why. What she's talking about.
You can be all you want. One day, we will all stand there with Jesus. We will all stand there with Jesus, and you will know the truth.
I don't think a 17-year-old kid would want to have someone unalive them because they have pancreatitis. So, you know what I mean? Like, she's full of crap.
Of everything but me. Not for me.
You're telling me that this was all done in life. Say it. Tell me that this was done in Jesus' name.
You don't know what happened.
Why? Why don't I know, Mom? Oh, because I was kept in the dark to protect me. You know who needed protecting? My little dead siblings. That's who needed protecting, Mom. This
Where were you?
is not.
Is that what you think you did? I had it.
A month later, you ran away. I never wanted you back to me. I would have taken those kids in 1 second. I would bring them into my home. I would have taken care of them. That's not even a question to me.
Everybody
You can't say that you don't.
Everybody says that.
Says it now. What was my offer?
I'm saying I did everything for them.
For me, I here, we're away together. Why? How about that? If you had offered me, you would know. You cannot sit here and lie.
That's what everybody
Right?
That's not the truth. Okay? That's what people are thinking. They're assuming.
And then you walk away. So
No, you don't know that. No, that is not what happened. That is not what happened.
You tell me what happened. If you can tell me what happened, then I don't care. If you can actually explain it, then it's different.
I would love
But you can't.
to talk to you about.
Mom, you've been saying that you've been wanting to tell me for a very long time, and you never say it. You have no idea how much pain I have felt in my body. I feel like I could die. My own mom, my siblings, and my whole family, my dad, everyone is gone except for you, and you're in jail because of it. I have prayed to Heavenly Father himself and asked him to help me survive this. Do you understand the freaking earthquake that has been caused? Do you know how many people are hurt and broken now? And you're telling me that there's a reason? Why are you following Chad down the rabbit hole, Mom? Why would you follow anybody that is not good? How can you follow someone that cannot lead you to
Right? How can you follow someone that's not good? I mean, obviously, this person is not good if they're like convincing you that your own children are zombies.
But you're telling me that you're going to stand in front of Jesus Christ and you're going to be fine. That I'm still praying for you. I'm still praying for you. I don't know where the lies and all these things are written. I don't see it. I never have. The light of Jesus Christ is the most powerful thing that's ever lived. It's the most loving, embracing thing that has ever happened to this world. And I pray that you see him.
Poor Colby. I feel so bad for him.
I pray every day. I pray, no matter how mad I am at you, no matter how bad I want to hit your husband in the face with a shovel. I pray for you. I pray for him.
So you don't know how bad I want to hit your husband in the face with a shovel.
I'm going to be in Idaho.
I don't blame him. I would want to hit that fried potato in the shovel with a shovel in the face too.
Look me in my eyes.
That was horrible. Poor thing. I feel terrible. I know. Same, Emily. Same. I just can't believe they would really like believe all that stuff and really believe that that was like truth to the point where you're offing everybody important in your life. I mean, your husband, your children, but yet, I mean, he got rid of his wife, but he didn't get rid of any of his kids or anything like that. He got rid of his wife because he wanted to be with whoever he wanted, but none of his kids were zombies. It just, I don't know, man. The more I see this, I mean, I still think Lori is a total snake, but man, Chad is a lot more of a snake than I thought he was. Like lying to the mortuary and telling them that his uncle died and being oh, he just gives me like total snake vibes. You know what I mean? Like if anyone is a zombie or a demon, it's Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow. Yeah, I know, Glenjamin. He is a total lug. I call him the frog potato because he looks like a cross between a frog and a potato. He's so gross. Like Charles Vallow was just like he cared so much about Lori. He wasn't even a bad looking dude, and then she fell for this goofy looking dude. Ugh, I just can't. I can't with it. But I'm gonna hop off. I will. Well, I called him a frog, and then Thumb Thug said that he was a potato. So we combined frog potato, and that's what he is now. A frog potato. But I am going to try and be back. Thursday's out of the question because my son is off Friday and he wants to go catfishing at night because he doesn't have to go to bed early. Wednesday, tomorrow, I know Chad is so gross. He really is. Tomorrow, I'm going to try and come back and do another recap. But Friday, I will be here, but it won't be trial related. I am going to be at Penhurst Asylum. If you don't know what Penhurst Asylum is, look it up. It's awesome. It's this asylum that closed, I believe, in the 1960s. It was open in like World War II era. It closed down for its inhumane practices, and it's like a haunted place. And I bought tickets for me and Dave to go ghost hunting. I bought a spirit box, like the spirit box, the SB7 spirit box or whatever. And I got like a temp gun, and I think they also have some ghost hunting equipment as well. So I will be ghost hunting until 3:30 in the morning there. We go from 6:45 to 3:30 in the morning. So keep an eye out because I will be streaming it as long as they allow it. And I can't wait. I'm so excited because if any of y'all know me, I like ghost stuff. And then soon, I plan to do a collab with Buster the Cockatoo, my favorite cockatoo. Well, his mama, really. I just have to set a date with her, but we're gonna do a like exotic animal special at some point. So keep an eye out for that. I haven't planned it at all yet, but I will get to soon. I just have a busy week. I know, isn't Buster? If y'all haven't watched Buster, he is the cutest thing ever. He sings, and he just cracks me up. He tells all these stories to his dad when he. I hope I meet a nice ghost too. I'll be highly disappointed if I don't get any ghost action. You know what I mean? I will be highly disappointed. I want some good ghost action. I want to hear some crazy stuff on the spirit box. I'm gonna get like a speaker so I can hook it up to it so you can hear it out loud. Yes, a must see. All right, guys. Well, hopefully I'll be back tomorrow as long as my schedule allows. I'm going to try to do another recap tomorrow. And then I'll definitely be back Friday, but at Penhurst Asylum. So keep an eye out. Thank you, guys. Sorry it's a short one. I'm like cramming in whatever I can because I like have a super tight schedule. But oh yeah, I'll get great photos too. I'm going to take a bunch of photos. I'm going to eat it up. I promise. I'm going to share it with y'all too. All right. Good night, guys. I will talk to y'all later. See ya. Thank you all for coming, and thank you, mods, for all your help. I appreciate you so much.